I am pleased to welcome you to the opening ceremony of the 13th ATAF Country Correspondent Conference. First, allow me to express my heartfelt appreciation to Dr. the Honorable Renganedin Padyachi, Minister of Finance, for kindly accepting our invitation to grace this function as chief guest. We truly appreciate your presence among us today, sir, despite your busy schedule during this period of budget preparations. I also wish to convey my gratitude to ATAF Secretariat for hosting such an important conference in Mauritius. The Country Correspondent Conference is one of the biggest events of ATAF, and it's a platform to facilitate direct engagement and maintain a seamless correspondence between the Secretariat and its members. I am also thankful to Mr. Duncan and Mr. Rajesh Ramlal for taking time to come to Mauritius and to give us courage and the assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, Mauritius has a long-standing engagement with ATAF. The first General Assembly of ATAF was hosted by Mauritius in 2011, and Mauritius was one of the 5 founding signatories of the ATAF agreement, which officialized the establishment of the organization. For 3 consecutive mandates, Mauritius occupied the positions of the member to vice chairman of the ATAF Council. For the past 11 years, MRA has been an active partner in the capacity building initiatives of ATAF, and we have always supported ATAF in all its endeavors. We hosted various seminars and workshops and even co-hosted 2 executive masters in taxation curriculum workshops. The MRA was also among the first 15 countries to have associated with ATAF to initiate the African Tax Outlook annual publication project. Mauritius is also a member of ATAF VAT and ATAF EOI technical committees. Our expert officers in the relevant fields have shared their experience and knowledge in these committees and have contributed to the publications of various technical documents for the benefit of its members. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mauritius has always maintained a close relationship with ATAF, as we believe in its mission and vision, and we will continue to support ATAF in all its endeavors towards the attainment of its goals. We must admit that ATAF has largely contributed to building the capacity of African tax administrations. Its country programs have led to the reviewing of business structures and procedures, training many tax auditors, implementing automatic exchange of information, and setting up exchange of information units and transfer pricing units in many countries. Some member countries have even collected millions of US dollars of tax thanks to ATAF's technical assistance provided to them in reviewing their legislations. Over the last decade, ATAF has built significant regional and international visibility, has cooperated with international partners, and played an active role in the global tax agenda by promoting the African perspectives on tax issues and representing the views and interests of its members. ATAF is also a key player in the OECD Inclusive Framework and the UN Committee of Experts. Moreover, ATAF has increased the research capacity of Africa by establishing the African Tax Research Network Through the ATRN, ATAF has been able to promote the development of homegrown solutions to African tax challenges and enhance debate and cooperation amongst tax officials, academics, policymakers, tax practitioners, and civil society. The launching of the African Tax Outlook, that's ATO, has been another achievement for ATAF, and it enables its members to compare the tax basis, tax structure, and revenue performance of each African tax administration. The establishment of the Executive Master's Program in taxation has undoubtedly strengthened the capabilities of tax officials, tax policymakers, and tax practitioners from across the African continent. Ladies and gentlemen, ATAF has begun the journey into a new decade at a time when the tax world is being faced with unprecedented challenges. The lingering COVID-19 pandemic, monetary tightening, and geopolitical tension have slowed down the global economic recovery. Not only countries are experiencing economic crisis to raise the much-needed revenues, but the challenge also comes amid intense discussions towards finding a global solution and reaching consensus to the taxation of the digital economy. The G20 OECD has come up with a two-pillar solution to address the tax challenges of the digital economy. However, you would agree with me that the impact of this solution on developing countries is critical, not only in terms of fairness, but also in other respects such as efficiency and administratability. Besides the formal legislative challenges needed for implementation and the administrative challenges, developing countries also need to assess their strategic tax policy response to the new international taxation paradigm, including the impact of the globe on tax incentive schemes for foreign investment. As you are aware, the multilateral convention to implement amount of Pillar 1 will be open for signature in mid of 2023, and the impact of these measures would obviously affect the revenue collection of many developing countries. However, the United Nations General Assembly's resolution on global tax rules tabled by Nigeria on behalf of the African Tax Group is an indication of the steps taken to protect the continent and the need to work together to have measures that take into account the specificities and taxation landscape of all African countries. Combating illicit financial flows is a huge challenge for member countries and ATAF. Countries are seeking to increase their domestic tax revenues to levels that are stable enough to sustainably finance their government's public spending. With a view to stemming IFFs and assist member countries in increasing their revenues, ATAF is emphasizing on the importance of modernized legislative frameworks, capacity building initiatives, interagency collaboration, and structured exchange of information mechanisms. More than ever, ATAF member countries require the support of ATAF to alleviate these challenges and to represent Africa's voice on tax matters on an international level. We are confident that ATAF will continue this battle and reach new milestones, and the role of country correspondents is critical in ensuring the attainability of these goals. By discharging their duties with integrity, diligence, and commitment, country correspondents play a vital role in making this happen. On this note, I thank you once again for making the trip to this conference